80s Hong Kong cinema shenanigans,
Hmm.
but not an echo of what's going on later in the film. This is. Can you still imagine that this film turns incredibly violent?
Hmm.
No, no, this movie's not supposed to turn into that. Yes, it is. Wow.
It's because again, this is the scene where you're watching. It's like this could easily, like, you're waiting for fucking Sammo Hung and Richard Doom all to run in the new. It's like, come on, gang, let's do this.
And that Lucky Stars theme playing
Hmm.
as well. That familiar Lucky Stars theme. This is essentially the study is what Dreamscape was essentially. The study we're not seeing it properly now. We're seeing it in the later dream scene with Wu Ma. That's essentially what Dreamscape is. If you want to pinpoint specifically something they took from that, because again, this has nothing to do with Dreamscape. This is very uniquely Hong Kong. Going back a little bit to going back a little bit to MQI, his early career. Again, talking about the Five Tigers, they actually got reunited with each other.
Just no hurry.
Nice underpants there. They got reunited sans Tony Leung Chiu-wai in this 2007 triad movie called Brothers. Kind of an average movie. But again, Michael Mukiwai was quite known as a businessman. He actually once invested in a company manufacturing and selling glasses, and worked with that sort of his business alongside his movie credits, which is what you had to do in Hong Kong in the 80s, I think. Make sure you have a career outside of the movie one and TV one, because it's not going to last forever. And Chow Fat is always an example of that, because he worked and 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 worked.
Hmm.
And one day it might dry up. And yeah, the latter half of the 90s did dry up insanely. But Chow Fat was gone by that point.
Yeah.
But some great films with MQI. He's in a fantastic Shaw Brothers movie called Men from the Gutter, a modern action film. Hero of Tomorrow, he made a movie late 80s, quite a standout in the huge canon of heroic bloodshed movies. Talk about great design here, by the way.
I know, you've got to love these real 80 movies for just the varied technology. Where it's just like colourful Christmas lights and all these fucking chords. It's like that in films like Flight of the Navigator, where it just looks, sure, like half a dozen monitors, like that could either pass off for someone's basement or like a computer headquarters, as long as there's enough lights and cables, multicolored string.
Wu Ma on screen in the other bed here.
Hmm. Who's, of course, like, who's not heard of Wu Ma? This man's been around for it all. I think he's going on 68 this year.
Yeah.
And the man still doesn't look any older.
Yeah.
Like, for his last appearance, I think it was, well, last appearance I noticed him in was House of Fury, which was a good 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But he has appeared in other things more recently. I think he was actually in, he was in Battle of Wits, and he's now made appearance in 14 Blades.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like Wu Ma. It is, I believe Bay Logan described it as his face turned into this. It looked like an apple left out in the sun. The older he got, but it worked well for him because he got to play a character actor essentially.
Hmm.
By the way, I want to single out the transition here into Dreamland, which I thought, I bet that's stolen from Dreamscape, but it isn't. I actually think it's rather cool. It feels like a Terry Gilliam-like fantasy sequence. It reminded me a lot of Brazil.
I really expected Yin Bu and Mang Hoi to fly past and like Zoo Warriors get up.
Hello. That would be a great like a tie-in.
Hmm.
But wow, but it is a dream sequence, you know. So anything goes.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a Dracula, they're hunting a Dracula creature, and that wasn't uncommon in Hong Kong horror movies. Lam Ching-ying faced off against essentially Dracula in Vampire vs. Vampire.
Exactly.
which was great first movie for Lam Ching-ying to direct, and he showed he was really in love with the genre and his character.
Hmm. I think Wu Ma's really, like, for most people, will be well known for his role in A Chinese Ghost Story
Oh yeah,
as like that great Taoist priest.
rapping
Uh,
Tao's priest.
exactly, yeah, he has that one number in the forest.
I think he's voiced though, at least in that song number by James Wong,
Right.
the late great James Wong, who probably did the score as well. I think he did the score alongside Romeo Diaz,
Hmm.
the great Chinese Ghost Story
Aye.
score.
Hmm. Or that you might, some other people might remember him for his role as the human clock in Meals and Wheels,
I don't remember that.
where he was basically one of the mental patients when Yuen Wah and Jackie visited their father.
And, I mean, I love Wu Ma. He's been quite active as a filmmaker early on in his career. He studied under Chang Che, I believe.
Aye, because he did do some work through Shaw Brothers as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Co-directed a few
Aye,
films
aye.
with Chang Che. Among other things, I probably a lot of classics, but I only remember Naval Commando, so sort of latter day one. It's good fun. Uh, Also, like he on his own early on in the career, he directed this very rare movie, Deaf and Mute Heroine, which is kind of cool because it's a gritty like Ucha movie. They fight in mud in certain scenes and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But The Dead and the Deadly he directed also, still one of his better movies.
Hmm. He's always got that memorable scene where he's pretending to be a corpse, and was it not Samo was trying to nick his teeth?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Sam actually goes into Wu Ma takes over Samo's body in The Dead and the Deadly.
Right.
One of these shenanigans that they possess each other willingly, kind of a thing.
Hmm. Hmm. But I always just love that great shot where they're yanked on the teeth, and all you notice was Wu Ma's still face and a single tear running down his cheek.
This
Well, there's a camera angle.
yeah, here we go.
Forget about the police officer on the bike.
I thought I should have recognized this woman, but it kind of first. Oh, look at that! That's Fung Bobo. It's not. It's clearly not Fung Bobo. But it kind of looked like that first. But I don't think she has that bosom or would willingly appear sexy like that, like a sexy vampire in her during this point in her career. It's a creative little thing with the blood types.
Hmm.
There's no affinity between us. Or kind of wonderful subtitle, which probably makes sense. I don't know the word affinity, to be honest, but so Brian Kirby, you can't do that Hong Kong subtitle. I think that's a correct subtitle. Let's see here. Final mention of Wu Ma. One of his other movies that I really like that he directed is My Cousin the Ghost.
Oh yeah.
With Richard and himself, I believe. Kenny B is in it as well.
Aye.
I liked it because it had like quite quite above
That's a great
average.
gag.
OAAB.
There's no escape.
I like My Cousin the Ghost actually because it has kind of good special effects for a 80s Hong Kong movie. Yeah, and he's in Hong Kong 1941 as well as this former Peking opera actor turned vicious village leader. He like tortures people by putting firecrackers in their ears and letting them blow up. That's really like fucking vicious.
It is, isn't it? It's. But yeah, comeuppance, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. A great movie, Hong Kong 1941. Tough to take. It's not the most kind of movies, but really well made, underrated. Also available in the UK on the Hong Kong Legends label, or at least was. Because that DVD might be out of print now.
It probably would be now, but yeah, go on. eBay's probably still got it floating about somewhere.
Yeah. It's going on a little bit about Mikey Mukiwai, finishing my notes on him. I other than Hero of Tomorrow that I mentioned, the hero who wrote Bloodshed movie that he did, he also was in this movie called News Attack, which was this fairly mature look at the life of news reporters. And he also has a crucial supporting role in Andrew Cam's mean and violent Fatal Termination, which is this movie where Mike Abbott is holding this little girl out of a speeding car, dangling over ground, and Moon Lee is on the hood trying to save her daughter.